This is one of the buddy dive boats. In the back on it is the oldest member that we saw. She was called Jackie and probably in her 80s, and amazing how well she did. She was able to dive and did all the stuff for herself. This is just a typical view of the coral and all the fish eating the coral and just playing around in the light. Here's Stephen and I diving together. Here's an urchin. You can see the spines waving in the water, trying to catch dinner. Also, you can see all the small fish trying to catch dinner before the urchin. Urchins are blind and have no brains. Watch how the surge of the current causes all of these to wave back and forth, kind of like yoga, where you have breathing exercise in and out, in and out. This is a lobster hidden away underneath everything. Can't see him real well, but he was fun to watch. This tube worm, in addition to being very pretty, was fun. Got a little close. Another urchin waving its spine in the waves, trying to catch dinner. There were a lot of fish, some that were not even identifiable on the little sheets that we had. This spotted moray was so cute. Wasn't especially liking the light, but he didn't mind it too much. However, when I did get too close, he had to come out and investigate and see what was there. Then he decided that he was going to find a safer place, so he started looking around for some place that would be a little bit safer than where he was. Here we are on the Hilma Hooker. It's a steamer, freighter that was sunk off of Bonaire. The legend is that it was incapacitated. The mechanics broke down on it, and so they had to haul it to the main part of Bonaire. And there, they were suspicious about what was going on because they didn't have proper documentation. So they searched the vessel and found behind one of a false wall, they found 12 tons of marijuana. Well, needless to say, the freighter was confiscated, but they couldn't find who the owner was. It was through a bunch of corporations and everything that nobody could track what happened to the real owner. It started to take on a lot of water at the dock, so they pulled it out to sea, and it sank very conveniently right next to a reef where it would be available to divers. What to do with the 12 tons of marijuana they got off it? They decided to burn it, and according to the dive leader that we had, with a little tongue-in-cheek, of course, he said that the prevailing winds off of Bonaire go towards Aruba, and that's why Aruba is such a happy little island. Here is Stephen at the bow of the Hilma Hooker. You notice that rope going up is to tie off boats that want to anchor so that divers can dive on the Hilma Hooker. The air coming out of the hull was very puzzling to us, so we asked the dive leader when we got out, why is there air? And he said that there are some divers that take extra tanks into the hull of the Hilma Hooker and then release all of the air into one of the rooms so that they can sit in the room and breathe air without having to be hooked up to their scuba tanks. Now for some fun. The dive leader showed how to make donuts out of the air coming out of the tanks. And here's Steve successfully creating small donuts, not as big, but still successful with the donuts. And then finally getting out and getting on the boat. One of the nastiest invasive species are these red lionfish that are decimating the native fish populations. I thought these trunkfish were the cutest fish that we saw, just like little tugboats. And the French angelfish, what a beauty. I mean, the movies just do not give credence to the beautiful colors they are. This green moray eel was very large, probably several feet long, but just watching stuff go by, kind of watching us too. Watch carefully in the fronds of this to see towards the middle of the screen the seahorse. They aren't very big animals, but they sure are colorful. One of the dives we made from the shoreline was at Salt Pier. Salt Pier's where the ships come in to transfer salt from the evaporation plants and sell it. Cargill owns the evaporation plants, and they sell it worldwide. The little turtle comes up for air periodically. These are the piers themselves, and this is the conveyor system that they've got going out to the piers. I'd never seen anything like this before. A trumpet fish hitching a ride on a parrotfish. You'll notice that the trumpet fish does not actually hold on, but just sits in the slipstream of the parrotfish.